party people, I'm Pastor Lia Scholl at Wake Forest Baptist Church. Thank you for spending time with me today, this Palm Sunday. And today we're talking about feelings, especially the feeling of anger. So I hope you'll be strong and courageous and do not be afraid, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. I know a woman who seems to have only 3 feelings: mad, and not mad at you. When she's mad, she moves away from you. She cuts off from you. She doesn't talk to you. She doesn't say anything about why she's feeling mad. She's rarely that direct. Instead, she makes kind of nasty comments, gets like that look on her face like, would you really do that? And sometimes she even makes negative noises like, When she's not mad, she's also a bit distant. There's really not much going on, just her sort of normal day in and day outs. And she doesn't think that telling you about her grocery shopping or working in the yard is particularly interesting. So she pretty much stays off by herself. It feels sort of like benign neglect. Or maybe it's just waiting for the other shoe to drop. My preferred option is the third option, not mad at you. Because in some sweet, subversive way, when she's mad at someone else, she gathers you in. She pulls you into her anger, but you're connected there. You become one of the in crowd, one of the beloved, because you are not like that person over there. Now, when she's mad at someone who's not you, she couches her anger in concern, in protection, and her sense of justice. It sometimes feels, when she's not mad at you, that she has a deeper emotional life, like she feels a myriad of other feelings, because she can laugh about the other person and it looks like humor. She can talk about how the other person has hurt her, and she can actually express some feelings and hurt. When she's not mad at you, it feels like she has a full range of emotions, but then you realize it's really just thinly veiled anger. Anger can somehow overshadow every other emotion we feel. And when someone is full of anger, it can feel like arson, flaming up everywhere around it. There's only one time that we see Jesus really angry in the Gospels. And today it's in chapter 19 of Luke, and it's the culmination of today's text. The beginning of the text, you know this story. The end of the story is when Jesus cleanses the temple with a whip in his hand, says John, because he's so angry about all the injustices done in God's house. In Luke's gospel, the cleansing of the temple comes immediately after the triumphal entry. Of course, the triumphal entry doesn't feel all that triumphal. In fact, it feels kind of sad and kind of defeated. Jesus enters the city weeping. He says, "How I wish today that you, of all people, would understand the way to peace. But now it is too late, and peace is hidden from your eyes. Before long, your enemies will build ramparts against your walls and encircle you, and close in on you from every side. They will crush you into the ground and your children with you. Your enemies will not leave a single stone in place because you did not recognize it when God visited you." What I'm trying to get at is that Jesus' anger in that moment in the temple is fueled by many other emotions that we see in the triumphal entry text. He's feeling defeated, sad, disappointed, fearful, betrayed, maybe even guilty, and I bet he was even lonely. And anger can be a good foil for all those other feelings. And that woman who only had 3 emotions, mad, and not mad at you, Although it appears she only has 3 emotions, the reality is much more complex. Anger covers all the other emotions. Beneath the boil of anger, there's shame, there's fear, there's joy, there's concern, there's sadness, there's disappointment, there's a full range of emotions. Friends, I believe that the last several years have been very tough on us as a nation, as a community, and as even in our families, because we've only been feeling one emotion, and that's anger. We've been stuck with all the emotions on the anger scale. We've been affronted, antagonistic, belligerent, bitter, burned up, crabby, cranky, enraged, exasperated, fuming, furious, grouchy, heated, hostile, incensed, indignant, offended, provoked, ratty, resentful, seething, storming, truculent, vengeful, and vindictive. And we've been that way for far too long. Because just like that woman with only 3 emotions, we've been experiencing all the other ones too. Sad, fearful, disgusted, and we've also felt happy, interested, optimistic, and hopeful too. But all we feel safe to show is anger. Perhaps we've bought into the lie that all the other feelings are weak. Perhaps we're afraid that if we show others the other feelings, people will think badly of us. Perhaps we're afraid, like one good friend of mine, if I begin to cry, I may never quit. But y'all, we know the only way forward is to feel those feelings, don't we? We know that we cannot be emotionally mature without recognizing and feeling our feelings. And what the world needs now is emotionally mature people. No more mad, and not mad at you. We need mad, sad, glad, scared, satisfied, and all the others. Our nation, our communities, our families need us to have that emotional mastery that Jesus had. As we enter into the fullness of Holy Week, into the last days of Jesus' life and ministry, can we all acknowledge all the emotions that come with it? There is joy in the gathering with his friends for the Passover meal. There is anger in the temple at the injustice being done there. There is sadness that the world still doesn't seem to understand peace. There is fear about the future, especially in the Garden of Gethsemane. There is pain, physical pain. Jesus experiences physical pain at the beatings. And there is worry about all of his friends. Jesus feels it all. And we need right now to feel all the feelings in our lives. There is joy in our families. There is hope in the vaccine. There is anger at the injustice of gun violence in Atlanta and Colorado. There is sadness in our losses caused by the virus. There is anger at our political situation that values status quo over change. There is anticipation in the resurrection. Let's not get stuck in any one of these emotions, but rather, with curiosity, let's experience them all. Because ultimately, this is one of those things that will lead to peace. Amen. Amen. I love you and I love being your pastor. Thanks for being here today.